Is Canada ready for a second wave of COVID-19?
That's a question I was asking myself this morning, and sadly, as much as I'm impressed with her response so far, I think we are not ready for a second wave, simply because this first wave has worn us out. As a first world country, we're so used to being happy and comfortable at doing things our very, in general, unsafe way when it comes to the virus world. And we have adapted to this crisis well, and we have, unlike a lot of other countries, we've done a good job of accepting it and not fighting back against these changes. But now, as we are relaxing all these guidelines, it's making a second wave more dangerous, because snapping back into a high degree of readiness is not something we're going to do quickly once we've had a taste of the apple of this is what it's going to be like on the other side. And I just can't imagine us quickly snapping back into a high degree of readiness.
I think one of the concerns I have is you always have a cohort, a group of people that don't believe the information, don't believe the science, don't take a proper care. And so from that perspective, I think individuals need to step up more. I think governments have the programs in place that we need, and I think we may be able to, instead of shutting down our entire economy like we've done, we can do it strategically. The flu season coming, there's big question marks at exactly how big this is going to be when we do get a second wave. But in general, I think we're well placed for it.
Any other thoughts?
Not really. I think Theresa Tam's done a great job informing everybody about the nation or about the process and what to expect. And it's just about everybody not to be complacent with how they view COVID, and just to take still a guarded approach and being cautious.
Don't pretend you know more than epidemiologists that have spent their whole lives studying these kinds of things, and healthcare professionals, and just go along with the advice for now. That's all most of us can do. I mean, I teach science, but I certainly wouldn't put anything. I don't know enough to start arguing with an epidemiologist over what's going on right now, so I won't.
This thing seems to be changing all the time. It's attacking younger people now, under 50. And what we don't know a lot, but the long-term effects are what concern me. Just because you've had it and you get to be okay, you come out of hospital. You may have lifelong disability. I don't know. We need a lot more science and a lot less politics.
Every day there's a school infected now, and if you keep that going, well, you do the math, right? It's just going to keep climbing up. So unless they start stepping back, then they can proceed again on opening it up again.
I know more about the virus than I did 6 months ago. And I certainly, those that are in the medical profession, they are more knowing of its behavior. Are we ready for it? I don't know if we're ever really ready for it.
Yes.
Why?
Because I think that government, federal and provincial, they get enough experience since March. I think that we are ready and we are in control so far. But I hope that people obey the rule and regulation, and mask and distance, to obey the distance, and that we are ready for the second wave.
I personally don't believe we got rid of the first wave, but yes, as they define a second wave, yes and no. A lot of the people are, but depending what the second wave and how it coincides with the flu epidemic, whether we really are ready to take the hard choices.
I actually would say I have no idea, but I'm going to assume we are, because I feel like we handled the first one fairly well. So I'm going to assume we're ready for the second one.
All in all, I think people are more prepared to combat a second wave of the virus, given the fact that we've already kind of had several months of it.
When you go into malls, they're always packed. You go into grocery stores, they're always packed. They have all these places that are maximum number of 20 people in a store, but yet there's 30 or 40 people in the store. And yeah, I think the second wave is definitely going to be worse.
Unfortunately, probably. I think this is something that happens in every country. People are getting complacent about COVID, and they don't realize that it's still a danger to society. young people think, that they're invincible and, that it won't affect them. And unfortunately, it brings out people into crowds, and this will result in a second wave. Might not be as big as the first, but it will still happen in Canada, unfortunately.
You know what, I think we are pretty well prepared. I think it's going to be a real hit to people. I don't think that a lot of just the average Joe understands what's going to come with the cold viruses and everything else, the flu coming. I think it's going to be a real hit to us, and I think we're going to see a setback. Hopefully not another nationwide lockdown, but we'll see. Hopefully, I think we're pretty well prepared.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. I think COVID is grossly blown out of proportion. And kids are asymptomatic, and I just want COVID to go away. Yeah, honestly, yeah. Kids aren't getting sick, little kids aren't getting sick. It's the older population or compromised. So I think that, I don't know if it'll go away, I'm not concerned about it, is what I should say, yeah.
I think we're being cared for. They're trying hard to find the vaccine. So whether we're ready or not, I think we have to be sensible, and we say we're not pushing the boundaries. We're going to do what they say we can do. And as you see, I'm not wearing a mask, but I do have my masks in my pocket whenever I'm going into a place where there's more people than one or two. So I think we have to take responsibility as well. It can't all be done for us.